What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another reverse 1999 video. All right, guys. Something I noticed a lot of content creators, like myself, have not been doing, right? And that is talking about the storyline and lore of some of these characters. Now, I've done a showcase for this character, but I actually want to talk and dive deep into the character himself. So we're going to talk about Pavia again today because he's easily one of my favorite characters. One of the most intriguing, unique units in the game. Not only from a looks perspective, aesthetics perspective, but I actually started reading the storyline a little bit, and it's pretty damn dark. So I think I'm going to start doing this more often, and if you guys are into this, let me know in the video, obviously in the comment section, like, subscribe, etc., right? Because I don't think this is being done very much, and this game has so much of it to offer, and honestly, we were brought to this attention by the developing team, actually, that a lot of the Reddit comments were, like, I wish content creators covered more of the lore of the character. So, before we get into the actual character himself, let's talk a little bit about Pavia and the little history of it. A lot of you don't know this, and hell, I didn't even know this originally until I read this. So I actually went over to the geography and travel section of the Britannica. That's right, official source, by the way, not some made-up source. But Pavia is in fact a city in Italy. So that explains, number one, the Italian heritage aspect of things for Pavia, the character, right? Now, there's a lot of different important aspects of Pavia. Now, Pavia has been a place in Italy that has been ravaged and battled over for centuries. We're talking about centuries. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the battles, give you a little bit of history why this place is so important, and then obviously tie it into the Italian character that is Pavia and go into his character a little bit, and you're going to discover a few dark things that happened to this man to make him the way he is. I thought he was just some sort of glorified Italian mobster. Boy, was I ever wrong. There is a lot going on with that character. So, first off, the city is in Italy on the left bank of the Ticino River. Pavia originated as Stecenum, a settlement of the Payne tribe, which was conquered by Rome and later became a key point in the Roman defensive. And then eventually it became a place where Charles and Francis also fought over in order to take over by either Habsburg or the French, right? This was something that was very common with this. You can see Attila also battled over this. The Ottokars also battled over this. It became a Gothic resistance, again, Byzantine Empire. From the 6th century under the Lombards, it was the leading city of Italy, even after it fell to the Franks in 774. After a series of wars with Milan from the 11th to the 13th century, it finally subdued by the Viscounts of Milan and the Visconti of Britannia, and the 14th century became the political center of Italy under Gian Galeazzo Visconti, who founded the University of Pavia, which actually still is considered one of the most prestigious universities in the world. I think top 300 easily, and one of the most prestigious ones in Italy. It is also known for Certosa de Pavia, which is actually a Carthusian monastery completed in the 17th century, north of Pavia, right over here. You guys can see it. It's a beautiful, beautiful church. But again, a lot of dark history that comes with this place. And this kind of ties into the character a little bit, right? And the darkness and the battles and everything that Pavia fights over is shown in the interviews and into the biography. So I'll give you a little bit of history of Pavia. It is a place, again, it has been battled over for many centuries by many different people. And now we're going to go into the character. This is just a little, if you want to read more, the Britannica will give you full coverage. Very interesting stuff. I'm a history buff, so I love these kind of things. Now, if I butchered any names, guys, I apologize. I'm not Italian. I don't know much of Italian history, as a matter of fact, so it was actually interesting to read some of these. But again, if you are Italian or if you are an Italian history buff, let me know if there's anything else you add in the comment sections, okay? So let's actually go into the crew section and look at Pavia as a character. Now, I'm going to be doing this more often because, again, the more you unlock their bonds, the more story they give you. We'll do a couple things here. Number one, we'll talk about the cover, we'll do the items, and then the actual story, okay? This is, I think, very important to note all of these things. So, a couple things to note about him. Pavia, a mixed work exhibit in the 1990s for 25 years, completed in summer on July 24th, born in Rome, Italian Republic, and after 3 months, the exhibit was sent to Piedmont and stayed there for more than 10 years before moving to Sicily. So, there you guys go. Piece of work, piece of art. It's interesting. Born in Rome, right? The Romans had Pavia for a very long time, and I believe that's where this became the name, was in Rome. If I'm wrong there, guys, let me know. But my short time reading this and understanding it, that's what I get there. Okay, so character right there. Items. 3 items that he has. And again, I apologize if I'm killing the butchering here. This is Auxilia de Sol, an ordinary pair of sunglasses mostly used by travel agencies as a freebie to attract customers. I love that. Its manufacturer and producer cannot be distinguished, and it has the style of a classic version of an Italian brand. However, nobody would be foolish enough to think they have the same value. Now, I wonder if this is Versace. That is bang on what an assassin would do. You would wear something that cannot be traced, cannot be manufactured, cannot be found, especially if you drop it and it's a scene for evidence. This is such an incredible setup, and I love that UTTU interviewer's item was added here. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but that's what it always says, right? And we're going to see the interview. Spike. Handmade jewelry, the earrings seem to have been made of wire and nails with rough workmanship and dull design. The pendant looks slightly sanded and is estimated that a quarter of the sandy paper was used. Now, this I think is important for a reason. I'm going to go back to this once we read the story. I think that ties into the actual history and past of the sad history and dark history and past of Pavia, okay? And I could be wrong there, but again, this is just my take on it, right? And then lastly, Anello. They are just random pile of rings, which is rather confusing. Some of them are damaged and dented, and no matter how one looks at them, they cannot be considered accessories. At best, I'd call them a pile of junk. If anyone can take them away, I'd be willing to pay them. All right, so pretty crazy things, right? Again, all very, very like cryptic. So let's go into the story. You guys are going to understand a little bit more about this. So the first story, Travelers to Venice. During those troubled times, the gala was being held in the city of water as expected. Countless films were gathered to be shown in the projection booth. It was going to be a great feast to which a lot of people were willing to travel day and night. A traveler passes by Payne and stopped. He bent over and saw a child's eyes through a small window which was only 3 feet from the ground. A voice came from inside. "Where are you from? Where are you going?" "I'm going to Venice to attend the film's festival," said the traveler. "What is a film festival?" The voice hesitated for a second. "What is film?" "Put some square slices in a square box, and it will tell you a wonderful or boring story. It's a beam of light, so we need a dark room to watch it." "A dark room like this one?" He could see light in the child's eyes, and some unrecognizable animals lurked behind him, so he nodded and said, "Yes, a dark room like this one." The traveler remembered the child on his way back. When he passed by the Pimon again, the window was blocked by layers of planks. He crouched down to knock on it, but there was no response at all. Now, you may not understand what just happened, but the second story is going to explain it. I'm going to go back to the first story and explain what exactly is going on. I think the second one will give you guys more perspective of what exactly all of this meant, okay? So, every child has their own imaginary friends. They might be fake queens or legendary heroes. His aunt did not like him. The child's face resembled that of her beautiful, sorrowful sister who had abandoned her, gone to the city, then died a few years later. She only left behind her troublesome kid. She did not want to see his face or be reminded of her sister. Being confined in the basement became the norm. In the beginning, he fumed, wept, and attempted to yield and apologize. However, the door atop the steps remained firmly closed. The sound of dripping water, breathing, the squeaks of rodents in the wood panels, and endless silence accompanied him. There was no sunrise or sunset, and after awakening, he would fall asleep once more. The foggy voices from the deep of his mind merged as if they were getting closer, blending into a continuous, mournful suite. One wolf hid behind another, and the pack surrounded him in the darkness of the night. They held each other's heads and tails and coiled together like snakes, bringing them with warmth and restful sleep. These were the friends he found in the darkness, ones who would never abandon or leave him, and who would forever watch over him, just like imaginary friends every child has. Pretty dark stuff. Pretty dark stuff. Now, if you take this second story and you scrape it over to the first story, you understand that the child in the window in the darkness with the wolves behind him was in fact Pavia. This child who has been put into the basement by his aunt because she has resent and jealousy for her sister who passed, and now is taking out on a child who is quite literally being mistreated inhumanly, and left in a basement. And the only thing this little boy can do is create imaginary friends who come to life. Now, if you know Pavia's ultimate attack, he summons these dark wolves that attack with him. What an incredible story, and what a way to make an ultimate come true. I am blown away when I read this. And so this child who didn't understand what film is, who didn't understand what anything was going around him, who stayed in a dark room, and this stranger who came back and noticed that after a while the child's doors, the wooden, there was wooden planks covering the window and there's nobody there anymore. Looks like Pavia got away. Looks like either the wolves helped or whatever. Now, the third chapter is interesting because it's an actual unnecessary interview with the rude Sweet Tooth being Pavia. Pavia is actually Sweet Tooth, okay? If you're wondering who that is, they don't actually give him a name here, but it does say UTTU times Pavia. So, Pandora Wilson is the interviewer. According to James Burton's reminiscence, he was once assigned to work with a maddening mercenary as punishment. And that punishment, I believe, was you. What's your opinion about that? Pavia. I don't care. They see me as a punishment, so then be it. Idiots are everywhere. Just like stupid fans of your boring magazine. A little bit of a shock. Hey, your stupid arcing skills won't melt my gelato in the refrigerator, will it? Maybe you wouldn't have been such an effective punishment if you could just shut up. Ha! Shame you're too stupid to understand the fun of causing pain. Like now. Though I can see only your face, I can only see your mouth, I'm sure your face doesn't look happy. I don't think anyone can look happy in front of you. Attention, quick question. I'm going to repeat something I just said. What will it be? Time's up. The answer is, I don't fucking care. And there you guys have it. So, why is Pavia the way he is? Well, I think it shows with the dark past and the history that is Pavia, that he's had. It kind of explains. Now, I have a little theory about his chains and all that stuff. I think he did all that in the basement while he was trapped and subdued, or he did it after the fact. Maybe the things that he has are items that he got from killing his aunt. I have a feeling he must have killed that aunt to get away. So there's that as well, too. I think, obviously, the wolf tooth represents the wolves that he has. And I think the dents in his rings and the pile of junk that he has is either rings that he used to maybe punch a wall out of frustration when he was in the basement and not allowed out, or maybe that's what he used to punish his opponents, and he just leaves them there to remind himself of the pain that he inflicts. All right, guys, there is my coverage on Pavia. Hope you enjoyed it. If there's any more information you guys have on this, let me know. If you guys enjoyed the video, absolutely let me know. But I love diving deep into these characters and exploring them because I think Reverse 1999 did such an incredible job on building this world and these characters and these units with their own story that they are actually worth diving into. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.